Just in case we don't know. Hey, what's up, Primetime Squad? How is everybody doing this evening? I am with a special guest here that some of you guys might know. Her name on YouTube is Diva, and that's what we'll refer her to. But Diva, this is her first time with me actually on a panel per se, not really a panel, but what do you call it?
A review, a chat.
When it's two people together, something like that. Hey Roxanne, how you doing?
Hello.
Roxanne, the first one in the chat. Hey Roxanne. I love her. She follows me on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere. Okay. But yeah, this is her first time, our first time together doing a collaboration. She's called into the show before, and she's been in our chat many, many times. And basically, this is like her debut as collaborating with me, because she is going to, after this, be with us on the Hood Table channel. So if y'all not subscribed to the Hood Table channel, which is
subscribed.
Thank you. It's DA space Hood space channel.
No underscores or anything?
No underscores. Just DA space Hood space table. So make sure y'all check out that channel, because after tonight, the next time we do collaborations, it will be on the Hood channel. So make sure y'all subscribe over there to the Hood channel. Hit the notification bell so you make sure you get our notifications whenever we go live. And thank you, Roxanne.
Oh,
she said, "Hi, lovely ladies." Thank you, lovely Roxanne.
Right back at you.
Now, the review we're doing tonight, for those of you who are not living in Omaha, Nebraska, where we are from, I'm born and raised here. Were you born and raised here?
Born and raised.
Okay, both of us is born and raised here. The review that we're doing tonight is called Out of Omaha. It's a documentary by a set of twins named Darcel and Darrell, aka Rail Trotter. And they did a documentary, and a documentary is basically a span of 8 years of their life, from the time they were like 19-ish to like 24, 25-ish, something like that. It's like 8 years of their life. And the documentary just came out last year in 2018. It first appeared in New York, then it appeared at different movie theaters, and then Stars picked it up. The TV station Stars picked it up. Now you know it's good if Stars picked it up,
right?
And it's local from Omaha.
I was just surprised that J. Cole had produced it.
Thank you.
How did they hook up with him to get him to produce.
I'm telling you, when I was watching it, I was like, when I kept hearing produced by J. Cole in the previews, I was like, hold up, they talking about J. Cole, J. Cole. I had to go and I had to search and I had to look up and look at the person. I'm like, J. Cole, how he hook up with the twins? How did he hook up with people in Omaha? You know what I'm saying? And mind you, this documentary spanned some years. So the producers, the directors, they started this years ago without us knowing.
Right.
You know, without anybody knowing. And then just bam, it was out there. I was like,
I had no idea that it was going on. And well, see, I don't even know the young men.
I don't either. But
it was interesting to see how their lives evolved.
Mm-hmm.
And in the turns, their life, basically how they dealt with life.
Yes.
The turns the life deal you, how they dealt with it.
Right. It's like, how they say it, like sometimes, you know, we get these cards. Life deals you a deck of cards. And you just have to do the best you can with that deck of cards and try to win. And that's basically what these twins was doing with the surroundings that they had to grow up in, and the hardships and the turmoils and the despair, you know, that they had to grow up in. And we see that so much.
It is.
And
it's very sad. You know, you wouldn't think that, because per capita and per density, we have more millionaires than you would think. And
Omaha is one of the, as far as millionaires, we are like number one.
Yeah.
Omaha is like number one when it comes to millionaires who live in this state, but you wouldn't think it when you ride around through all these hoods. You know?
Tell me about it.
What's up, Torres? Thanks for tuning in. Peace and blessings to you as well. Please let me know if you watched the documentary. Anybody who has watched this documentary, whether you saw it live in New York when it first came out, whether you saw it at Exarban Village or any other theater, whether you saw it at on TV or on Stars Demand, please make sure you let us know what you thought about the movie. And we'll also be taking phone calls, you know, regarding your opinion of the movie or how you felt or the impact it might have made, you know, to you after you watched it. So we'll definitely be taking phone calls for that. But first off, I want you to let me know what you thought about the movie. Well, it was documentary.
The documentary, I thought it was interesting. It was sad in a lot of spots.
Mm-hmm.
The disparity, just right from the beginning, you see how these boys basically raised themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then they are taking what should be their time to grow and be planning out their futures. And they're so worried about trying to keep the lights on, trying to keep some food in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
And then they weren't even staying with their parents and trying to help them pay bills too.
Right.
And I'm like, that is such a heavy burden to put on a teenage child.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And the one thing about it is, I'm really, okay, this documentary, now I'm going to keep it a buck. This documentary and what happened, a lot of things that happen to these boys happens to a lot of people in a lot of urban and impoverished communities.
Yes.
But the way that they kept pushing, mm-hmm. and they kept, I mean, they tried, they had a dream. Like Darcel in particular. I don't know how many guys I came across growing up that wanted to be a rapper. Like in every hood, you always have at least this one person who desires to be a rapper and thinks they're going to be the next Tupac, the next Jay-Z, the next. Well, we ain't gonna get. Hold on. The old Kanye. The Kanye before the Kardashian.
Right.
Okay. Pre-Kanye. Okay, the pre-Kanye. But you know what I mean? Like, even my brothers, my cousins, I know so many people who wanted to be a rapper. And that was his dream. That was his desire. That's what he remained focused on, you know, a lot while he was growing up and everything. But the fact that they put this film, because a lot of people, man, how many times have you heard through your lifetime, do Black people really live in Omaha?
Oh my gosh. When
I can't tell you.
That was all I heard. They got Black people in Nebraska. I bet you live on a farm. Oh, do y'all ride in a horse and buggy? It got to the point where people would ask me, y'all got Black people there? I said, no, I was the only one. I hatched from an egg.
Or no, have you ever been asked, do y'all tip cows?
No, girl, I wish somebody would.
I swear.
I'd be like, well, here, stand right there and let me tip you over.
I swear. Do y'all do cow tipping? You know, I did not know what cow tipping was until I was probably like, I don't know, 25, 24.
I know I was in like my early 20s when I found out what it was, because I had never heard about it.
I have never heard about Kanye. Hey, Donna, just being real. Thanks for checking up with us. Thanks for throwing up the TV emojis, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Throw them TV emojis up. Represent the Primetime Squad family. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys like the video, share the video, like and share. Thank you so much. You said people still think we live in Grass Shack. Man.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, and that's the thing. That's why I was so excited about this documentary, because so many people don't even know anything about Omaha. And when you mention, yeah, we got gangs here. Yeah, we got, I mean, like, remember probably about, I don't know, it was probably,
I remember the
90s. It was probably the 90s. And I remember reading, because I was like, had graduated by the end, you know, just graduated. And I remember reading somewhere or seeing on the news an article saying that our crime rate percentage, as in like murders, was equal to Chi-Town. And
that
some people was like, how is that?
That was the early 2000s. I remember that. Because the population it's the density of basically like North Omaha is so crowded. Mm-hmm. And you can, I mean, seriously, you know how they play that 6 degrees of separation? Mm-hmm. You can take any 6 people and name somebody, and somebody in that group, somebody is going to know them. Yeah. And that's the way it is in North Omaha.
It is. And it was like, at that time, it was like, they go by ratio to crime rate. So how many people live in the city to crime rate? So even though we have a smaller population than Chi-Town, that really meant like we really like got some issues if our percentage equals them. And so it was like, some people think, first of all, there's Black people in Omaha. What? Y'all got gangbangers in Omaha? What? Y'all got drug problems in Omaha? I mean, a lot of this went on from the 90s to the 2000s, you know, when gangs started migrating from the West Coast and started coming through Omaha, and everybody wanted to be a Crip or Blood or a Vice Lord, or...
It got ridiculous in the early 90s. Because remember, they even had like Tom Brokaw and them here addressing our gang problems.
Remember Mad Dads?
Oh my gosh, Mad Dads marching around with their little t-shirts and hats and jackets.
Man,
but at least we have fathers who cared enough to come out and to try to protect the neighborhoods and try to steer these young men right. Where are they at now?
I don't know.
Where are the men now?
I do not know. Like when I was at the protest, doing a story on the protest this past weekend over that controversial art exhibit, and Senator Ernie Chambers came down there. They was like, "Where's the rest of the leaders? What happened to our leaders in Omaha? Like, is he the last one left? Who's gonna step up to the plate?"
Right, but see, we can't just depend on him. Who in our generation is going to step up?
I don't know.
I truly believe, when they say that the change you want should be you.
The change you want is the change you should be.
Right.
Yes, I agree exactly. Roxanne said, "What is that? What kind
of
tipping?" Oh, basically what it sounds like.
You go out and you push
your cow over. And it's
when I found that out, I was like, "Who the hell does that?"
I'm telling you, when I heard that, when some people asked me, "Do y'all cow tip in Omaha, in Nebraska?" I was like, "Come on now, Omaha is a city,
right,
surrounded by a whole bunch of country, okay,
basically,
but yeah, I mean, so I was glad that the documentary came out because it not only shows like this story of these twins who survived the rough streets of Omaha, was raised in poverty, raised like okay, their stepmom, Barbara,
yeah,
she had mentioned how the boys were kind of like, including her son, their stepbrother Charles. They were kind of like born into gangs because their father was well known in these streets of Omaha as being in the gangs, being a drug dealer, a hustler. So when you have children born to parents like that, it's like,
what else? What do you expect them to learn?
Right.
If you're not teaching them morals and values, what do you expect? What do you expect them to learn?
Mm-hmm.
They learn by what they see.
And
if that's all you have them around, then that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to know.
Exactly.
And you have to take it upon yourself. But I give those boys credit.
Mm-hmm.
As they got older, they realized it was on them to change their circumstances. They couldn't wait for somebody else to do for them to make their life better. They went out and got it for themselves.
Exactly. And I know, like, in the beginning of the documentary, they were, speaking with Darcel, and he was kind of like telling his story of how he grew up. His friend Skylar, they Northwest alumni Huskies. Darcel and Skylar, they both went to Northwest High School, and so they met very young, in high school. And he was telling his story how he had graduated from high school. He had hooked up with Avenue Scholars, which is Avenue Scholars, by the way. Both of my sons was in Avenue Scholars. So it's a really great program. They help you get scholarships. They help you with applications. They help you with, all kind of stuff. And he had got into UNO. But once he had got into UNO, which is a really nice school here in Omaha, things started like getting worse with his family. Like his mom started. The mom, the bills it was just like the bills. Remember, their father had left. He had moved to Grand Island. He had moved to Grand Island, and I've been a single parent.
Still a single parent.
we know how we know how it is. The struggle is real.
Very real.
For a lot of people, but definitely for single parents, the struggle is really real. So when he had mentioned how his father had moved to Grand Island, and the two boys, they felt like a lot of kids feel, in these kind of circumstances, in these situations where they're like, well, what can I do to take some stress off of my mom's back?
Right.
Hustle.
They went out trying to hustle.
Go out and hustle. So one thing I hated was how he was in school and it seemed like he was doing okay. But then it's like, I don't know. I kind of understand what his mom was saying when she was like, I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to leave. Like when you're a single parent and you have children, boys, and they end up leaving and they're like the man of the house.
I think she was
you kind of feel a certain way.
Him,
like, yeah.
And unfairly, she made him the man, basically the man in her life. And that shouldn't have, and it happens.
But we do that all the time.
We do.
We tell our child if they 8, 9,
you the man of the house.
12, you the man of the house. And we put this pressure on these boys at a very young age, and they like, man of the house.
Right.
Okay, if I'm the man of the house, what am I supposed to do? I see mama can't pay all the bills.
Right.
We need food. What would the man of the house do?
And that
can't get a job.
Added stress and strain on them that they shouldn't even have at that age. You know, and unfairly, it's unfair to them, and it's unfair to us too that we have to go through this. But it's not. This onus should never be on these kids.
Right. And I mentioned that before on my channel, probably about maybe 2 weeks ago. I said when my kids were younger, and they can testify. One of them in there now, the other one on his way back. But they can testify that when they were younger, they never knew. They never knew if the cable had a shut off, if the lights, if the gas, if the rent was behind, if the car payment was behind. Hey, we had our struggles growing up. I shall not lie. I shall not lie like we had it made.
I didn't even realize. But, after I think back, but that's just like, I think back on my childhood. I didn't realize that we were poor. Poor.
A lot of us did.
Until I became an adult, and I was like, well, damn. The lights got cut off, and then when the lights was back on, then the water got cut off, and then we never had no damn cable, and the phone, we might have had that once a year.
Girl,
go across the street and use somebody else's phone.
I remember using other people's phones. I remember lighting candles when we was kids. Yes. I remember borrowing water from the neighbor with the water hose hooked up to their water.
Yes.
I remember,
or an extension cord.
Girl, in the hood. You did what you had to do. Right. I remember all that. So when I tell my kids, y'all have no idea. But see, the thing was when they were younger, we never went without lights. We never went without food. We never went without anything. We had cable for like 20, 30 some years. We never went without. But there were times where I spent nights praying, like, God, where's this money going to come from?
Girl.
God, there's been times when I had to work 2, 3, 4 jobs. Real stuff. I was talking to my oldest son's godmom today, and we was talking about how we had to work like 2, 3 jobs to raise our kids every now and then. But people out here now
act like they can't
get work. They can't work. They up here in every line. It's Thanksgiving. They in the turkey line. Next month they're gonna be in the Christmas line. Then after that they're gonna be in the Easter line. Right. And then after that they're gonna be in the school clothes line. And then after that they're gonna be in the winter coats line. And it's like every year.
Be in the job line.
We ain't gonna be in the job line. We ain't gonna be in the application line. So you know what? Sometimes it's like I look at people and say, I work 2, 3 jobs. Some people used to look at me like, Tanya, why you work so many jobs? Why are you working 2 jobs? I would never work 2 jobs. Forget that. If I can't do what it was 1 job, then it just ain't gonna get done. And people will look at you negatively.
People looked at me crazy. I put myself on welfare to go through school so I could put myself through college. I did that because I had my son.
Some people need to do certain things to get where they need to get.
I wanted to focus on making sure I had straight A's when I graduated. I graduated in the top of my class. I made sure I secured a good job, and I got off of that, and I took care of business like I was supposed to.
Exactly.
As an adult with a child, that's mine. It's my business. That's
your
my
responsibility. Now there are situations where some people they'll lose their job, they'll
Right.
get laid off,
Right.
they'll get hurt, they'll get sick, and
it happens.
Things happen. But in this situation where these boys were their mom, because she was a single parent, her name was Yolanda, and she was having a hard time. And so I think she kind of put a little pressure on him, because remember his Avenue Scholars, what's it? Yano.
That's my classmate.
Yano, cool as heck. Yano Jones. He told him, okay, so your mom wants you to stay home instead of moving into the dorms at UNO.
He was like, what's wrong with you?
He was like,
the dorms?
He's like, why you can't move into the dorms? He said, because my mom wants me to stay home.
And
he was like, but hold up. Is this about you? Or is this about your mom? Is this your life?
Right.
Or is this your mama's life?
Because at some point, you have to make the mother responsible for the choices she made in her life.
And let them kids.
And unfortunately, you know, like you said, stuff happens. And you, how do I want to say this?
Take your time.
Take your time. These are your kids. That's not his responsibility.
Right.
These are your kids. And he did.
He did.
And I think it was more of the fact that he didn't want them struggling and going through and raising themselves like he and his brother did. Yeah. And I can understand that. And that's commendable. But baby, this is your life. This is your time to forge your own future.
Yeah. That's true.
To think about yourself.
That's true. Very true. And I want to say, as far as afterwards, when it was kind of crazy, because after that, you know, the thing about it was, remember his homeboy Skylar? Skylar, a lot of his friends, they were saying the same thing. You need to get out of the hood and get into the dorm. And one of the people who was involved in his life was, you know, Wayne Norton, the guy who was married to Nikki Horton, you know. And he had gave like a lot of advice. Now Wayne, he was born in.
His name is Brown.
Right. Wayne Brown. My bad. Nikki Horton Brown, Wayne Brown. Now, Wayne was born in North Omaha, and he also lived in the streets, ran the streets. He did things that some of the average, it was like just normal for some of the kids to do back then in Omaha. One thing that I like that he had mentioned in this documentary, he said a lot of people look down on people from the hood who live in poverty and they don't make it out. He said those are usually the ones who lived in the hood and lived in poverty and did the same things other people did, who winded up in prison or dead but never got caught.
Right.
And it's like really true. Like a lot of people, when you grow up, you be like, dang, that person got killed. Dang, that person in jail. But you know a whole bunch of people who did the same thing. But some of them might end up as doctors or lawyers or preacher. Oh, right. Lord. Preachers. I mean, they might be nail techs, hair stylists, you know, own their own businesses, a nurse, something. And then some of those people look back and they be like, I made it out. Why couldn't you? But they was doing some of the same things. And this is like so true in the hood from what we know to have grown up with. Our next door neighbor, we could be both doing the same stuff, out there fighting, gang banging, woo to woo. One of us get caught and go to prison, and the other one don't get caught doing nothing. Yeah. And then their life, you know, goes on, and eventually they grow up, graduate from high school, and get a job, you know,
right,
or go to college. It's not like you're better than that next person. You just didn't get caught doing a lot of things that your peer was also doing.
Right.
So I was glad when he had mentioned that about, you know, how some people in the hood who make it out kind of turn their back on the hood.
But what I appreciate, going back to the Avenue of Scholars, is that it's not a last chance kind of program. It's a second chance. It gives you, they understand. People make mistakes. People have lives. Stuff happens. Okay, let's fix it and let's move on from there.
Right.
We're gonna keep going.
Right.
And unfortunately, with this story, he ended up going to jail.
I was so like,
and he was looking at some serious
time. He was looking at serious time. Didn't they say like?
And by that time, his brother had done moved.
His brother moved to Grand Island
with the dad.
Exactly. Now the thing about it was, what I really liked though was when he did get involved, and that was off of I think that was off of 55th and where did that happen? The where they had he claims that he was at the house. This is Darcel we're talking about.
55th and Sprague or something
like Pinckney or something like that. And he claimed he was there, and he remembers, people coming in and people saying where the money at, and somebody said they ain't got no money, and then somebody threw the first punch, and all hell broke loose. And he said, I knew immediately to get the heck out of Dodge, because he was in school, and don't pay attention to my child behind me who's fixing him some dinner. But he was in school and his girlfriend. But he was in school, and he was like, he just knew that he could jeopardize his scholarship, his career, his family, his life, his everything would be affected by that. So he bounced. But people still believe that he had something to do with it, and so he was charged. Because, they said it was a robbery and assault, because the people who came into the house, they started fighting the people who was in the house. And one thing I did like about that was, regardless of what he was facing and the charges, Avenue Scholars, they didn't have to be there.
They did not.
Avenue Scholars, you guys, for those of y'all who don't know, basically what it is, it's a scholarship and intensive support program. And my sons, again, they both were involved in the Avenue Scholars program. The one behind me and the one in the other room, they both was involved in the scholarship program. They came up with the money to help him
bond out
with the with the lawyer.
Oh, that's
because
right,
he needed 2,000. Yep.
He was hiding, and then
Yep. He was staying on the low. They had posted it on KETV, WOWT, all the stations,
blasted all over the news.
Looking for him, wanting him to come down and turn himself in. He didn't turn himself in until he got a lawyer, and the lawyer wanted 2,000. He didn't have it, obviously.
Right.
He didn't have it. And Avenue Scholars, they had hit him up and called him and told him, we can help you with the down payment, because the lawyer only wanted $1,000. And they said, we can help you with the $1,000. So he was able to secure the lawyer.
The lawyer.
I love that lawyer. I don't even know her. You know why I love her?
Why?
Because she kept it real with him.
Because she worked it out.
You know what? Did you watch the Central Park 5?
Girl,
you probably didn't.
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay.
Oh, yes, I did.
Good. Okay. The things that she was telling him reminded me, it took me back to the Central Park 5, how she was saying, when you go in there, they're going to promise you this. They're going to promise you this. They're going to promise you that. They're going to tell you they're going to talk to the DA. They're going to tell you they're going to talk to the prosecutor. They're going to tell you this. They're going to tell you that for you to do this and that and that, that. And she said, and they ain't going to stand up for their promises. She was like, most of the time, they do not keep their promises.
At all. They tell you what you want to hear at that time so that they can get your word, your promise, get whatever they need from you.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. You ain't got nothing written.
Right.
You ain't got nothing written down, so that means nothing, it didn't happen. If you didn't write it, that's something we learned in school. If you didn't write it down, it didn't happen.
Exactly. And I was like, you might be like, oh, that's a lawyer. They're supposed to tell you that stuff. But come on now. In history, it don't always work out that way. You get these lawyers who just in it for the money. They don't really care if you did the crime, if you didn't do the crime. They don't care if you go to jail, if you don't go to jail. They don't care. She was straight up forward with him and told him the real deal. Like some people should have told those kids in the Central Park 5. So he ended up not snitching, not saying nothing. He didn't say nothing. He didn't confess.
We won't have to talk about that snitching culture.
He didn't say nothing. And it was like he ended up getting off. He pleaded for he confessed, or it got down to a misdemeanor, and they basically released him.
Sometimes served. And
hey, Mrs. Slow Newsworthy Update. How you doing, boo?
Hello.
Thanks for tuning in. We have with us here Miss Carmel Diva.
Hey.
But yeah, and for those who just tuning in, we're discussing the documentary called Out of Omaha, which basically followed the lives of 8 years of the lives of these twins who are from Omaha, Nebraska, our hometown, by the name of Darcel and Darrell. So yes, that's what we are reviewing tonight. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the video, please, and thank you very much.
I was really surprised and proud of Real by when he moved to
Grand Island for a different
different atmosphere, a different life, a different chance at life,
surroundings,
and because he wasn't surrounded by the trappings of Omaha and all of the BS you can get involved in. He became a stand-up man.
Yes,
he found a job, and he literally worked his way from the bottom
all the way up
to the top.
He started off. He was working a salvage outlet, which is basically like a secondhand store, like a Goodwill appliance. Not a Goodwill, but like an appliance store who sells, secondhand appliances or furniture. He started from the bottom.
Literally the bottom.
Moving furniture, loading, unloading, and worked his all the way up to head manager. And I really like, as far as he goes, Real, it was kind of like when Darcel went to jail and he turned himself in for that crime. One might think, that's your twin, your bro, he just bounced while you in jail, moved out of town. Because you know how it is with twins.
Yeah, they had that. They have a connection.
They have a connection. They super close. They
definitely have a connection.
And Darcel claimed, that's my best friend. That's my BFF. Just like most twins, they best friends. He had mentioned how whatever one did, the other one did, regardless if it was hustling.
Right.
They did the same thing. Whatever one felt, the other one felt. So for his brother to bounce out to Grand Island, I took it as he saw, where
the road was going.
Right. He saw where his life could go. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, he seen where the road was going and decided, you know what? I'm going to make a left turn here. This is not going to happen to me. I'm not going to fail in life. I'm not going to be caught up in gang activity, in the drug culture, in, the jail life. I don't want that for myself.
Right. But you know what? What kind of, I was like, I was pissed. Okay.
When
the father. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. Now, Real, he had moved to Grand Island when Darcel was going through this with the courts. And eventually, when Darcel got off, it got reduced to a misdemeanor. They dropped, they let him out immediately. And he decided, well, dang, maybe I need to move to Grand Island with my brother and, get away from all this negativity, the gang banging, the drug dealing, and all that kind of stuff.
They was out there like 3 months.
They was out there like 3 months living with their father because their father had,
an apartment
moved out there. And they haven't seen their father before that. And like, I think he said like once in like 6 months. So they wasn't really seeing their father on a regular basis. And mind you, Grand Island is only 2 hours away. For y'all who don't know where Grand Island is and live in Omaha, I was there this past summer because I have a relative who lives out there. And it is true what they say. It's like 2% Black people who live in Grand Island. Now, I'm not going to go into the story of what happened when we went there. But if you go all the way back into my videos about 4 months ago, man, anyway, it was a hot mess. People went to jail. My family members, it was a hot mess. So anyway, so it's only 2% population of Black people out there. And so Darcel moved out there. He was like, okay, my bro out there, my twin out there with dad, I'm gonna move out there. He was there 3 months. And then
they like went to work and came home, and the daddy had packed up and left. Gone out of town.
He was gone.
Moved.
I was like, no.
I couldn't believe that.
I'm like, you left your kid, like your kids moved out here to stay with you.
To be with you.
And you just one day just packed all your stuff. And then the thing about it, what hurt so bad, I think, for Darcel is because, and it kind of like hit me like, ooh, that hurts. Like, because he had, said he had forgave his dad. He had talked to his dad. He had kind of got to know his dad. His dad told him his story, the gang bang life, the drug dealing life, the drug abuse life, and he was like, his dad was giving him advice and all this kind of stuff. Like,
they were building a relationship.
Right, they were building a relationship, and then you just come home and he's gone, like moved out of state. And you and your brother, it's like, and it's your dad's apartment. Nothing. So it's like, your name ain't on the lease. His name is on the lease.
You got to go.
And what do? You like, thank God for that other lady, Aubrey.
Yes, that boy's mom.
Yes.
Thank God for her.
What was his name? Ricky. Real had met him.
Yeah, Ricky. One of the boys had met him, and they became like really good friends real fast. And asked his mom, they don't have a place to stay. Can they stay here for a while? And just it worked out well until
I think that was like when they got the sexual assault.
Yeah.
And everything was good. And the thing that Aubrey had to say, like, she has, I think her son's father is like Spanish or Mexican. He looked like Spanish or Mexican or something like that. And her son, so he was like half white, half Spanish or Hispanic or something like that. And the boys had basically became good friends, railing him. And then Darcel came up there. So they all were like really, really cool. And then what first happened, remember, she said when they had accused them of robbing somebody's house. Remember, I was like, oh, that's messed up. Rail and her son Ricky was moving a refrigerator into somebody's house because they worked at the salvage outlet, and they was moving a refrigerator into somebody's house.
Called the police.
A neighbor called the police.
It was like, we're moving in, not out. You do understand that, right?
I'm telling you, y'all, the Grand Island is 2% Black people
I just
in that city.
Newsworthy update.
It's like 45. It's like 45 to 5,000 people who live there. It's a real small community.
It ain't a lot of us.
So you got a Hispanic, you got a Black man, and they moving a refrigerator
into
the house, but the neighbor was thinking they were moving a refrigerator out of the house. I don't know, but
I don't know what they were thinking.
I was like, hey, I already know what they was thinking. Who the colorful? Who the colorful? I mean, but you know.
what Betty White say on In the House? I thought I heard Negro.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
That's one of my favorite lines from that movie.
I was
sorry,
like,
y'all.
no. I was like, that's messed up, but it happened. It happens. It happens. Just like if you see like some black people in a rich neighborhood or a wealthy neighborhood, and they rolling up and they moving in their furniture because they just bought a house, and somebody called the cops. Oh, we got these black people over here. They you know that stuff used to happen all the time. Girl, that stuff used to happen all the time.
Used to.
Still do. Okay. Still do.
Keep it 100.
We gonna keep it a buck. We gonna keep it a buck. But how did you feel about the sexual allegations? Did you know? Like I knew that it wasn't. I had a feeling
pretty much just because of where they were at, and I you know, it just. I'm one of those people. I have discernment, and the story just did not sound right. And what I hated was the media was so quick to put these boys' faces and their names and their family relations and everything else in the newspaper, on TV, on the news. I mean, they were so quick to do that. And then when it turned out, the girl had lied on both of them.
Lied, not just on
there
them
was no
two,
retraction,
but her son, on Ricky, and it was like she said 3 men had took advantage of her, and I was just looking at the story. It was like there was witnesses saying they didn't do it,
right?
But the police didn't listen to nothing. And we all know that that's how it normally goes. The police, the detectives, they listen to the woman and they take their story at face value. Basically, it's kind of like, you're supposed to be innocent to proven guilty, but when it comes to stuff like that.
But, you got to put yourself in her position too, or her, if it was true about her, you would want them to take your story at face value too until the facts came out.
And believe you, yeah.
But she lied. And then when dude said he went to the convenience store. And
I was like, you talk about how you control.
No,
you talk about control.
Go ahead. So much better.
Go ahead. I would have. Go ahead.
He pulls up to the convenience store to get some cigarettes. Walks in.
And it's her.
And he didn't even recognize her. That's how.
Because nothing happened.
She goes, "Aren't you Darcel or Ariel?" And he said, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for lying on you and getting you in trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble with my dad."
And then she talking about I was under the influence. I was in a dark place. I was in a bad place. I was
like, what the hell they got to do with me?
Right. She said I was abusing drugs at the time and all this. And she just was up there like, I'm sorry that I lied on you guys because I don't know. I wasn't there. I was in a dark place. And
I would assume.
You know what?
For defamation of character.
I would have to. But what he did was, and you could tell their growth. You could tell Darcel's growth at that point in time because he was like, he just walked out. He just walked out because some guy would have started cursing her out, calling her all kind of names. Probably would have had a jump kind of counter, but he had to think, okay, I just got off of this charge. this
and I'm in
assault
this
charge.
rinky-dink town.
I'm in this rinky-dink town. They got 2% black people, 2%. You know, my brother then already had the cops calling him because they thought he was breaking into a house instead of delivering furniture. So you know, you sometimes you just gotta chop it up and just walk away. And that's what he was like Chris Brown, chucking up the deuces. Chucking them up. So I could definitely at that point tell his growth. But what about the girlfriend,
the baby mama?
Ooh, if that would have been my brother. Oh, love you too. You going? Y'all okay? All right.
Be careful.
I'll talk to you later, son and daughter.
But
all right, bye. Love you too.
She had the girlfriend.
See you later.
The girlfriend had the baby. Well, no, she was pregnant. And he just, it was like,
he was excited.
He was so
excited about having a baby. Like something from him that he could hopefully change this generational curse, as some people would say, and be a parent to his daughter, unlike what he really had, you know. But anyway, go on, because she kind of
she basically just ignored him throughout the whole pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, she was like 3 or 4 months when that started, and she called the police on him. She got protection orders against him.
But they didn't get into too much. Why?
She was just saying he was harassing her.
She was just saying he was harassing her. Bam, got it. I remember now. It just came back to me. Remember, he had decided that he needed to sell weed.
Oh, and because she didn't want that lifestyle around her.
She did not want that lifestyle around her and her daughter.
He had gotten laid off.
Yep.
He had a good job, and he was doing good. He was working at that plant.
Yep.
And he got laid off.
Yeah.
And so he had a baby coming.
She said that's a good looking couple. That's my man child. The one I asked y'all to pray for last week because he had the flu. Remember when I went live and made the homemade chicken noodle soup for the man child? That was him. He was down with the flu for like a week. So yeah, that's him and his love. His lady. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But anyway, he wanted to provide for his child.
Mm-hmm.
Did he go about it the right way? No. But
that's all
the thought that all he wanted to do was provide for him, make sure his child didn't go without.
Right.
And so that's what.
But I was wondering if it was something more. Because I mean, would you really leave your son's father? Would you? Because of weed. I'm like, I can see if he was strung out on drugs, or if he was
doing crack or selling crack,
going around robbing people and just doing. I try not to judge people. But when he said that he basically was shunned, from her, and when she said, okay, what did she say? She said, basically she don't know what she want to do. She's confused. She don't know if she wants to be in a relationship.
Yeah, it was like it's a little late for that.
It's a little late for that. Oh, you got a baby on the way.
Right. And I mean, baby was coming like in a month or two.
She was like,
she was foul for not calling him when the baby was born.
So wrong.
She was dead wrong.
But you know what? Remember when he
ran at the store and got to see the baby then.
Yep. And then when they was going through it, And remember, he had kept calling because he wanted to be involved in his baby. He was like, forget that. I'm not going to be that pops. I'm not going to be that deadbeat. I'm not going to be that person who has a child out there and they don't know who I am and I'm not involved in their life. So that's why he was kind of like putting the pressure on her to let me be involved. Let me be involved. But when he, where's Cap? When he hold on, I got distracted for a second. When he told her that he wanted to be involved, and she told him, I don't know if I want to be in a relationship and all this kind of stuff.
It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's about the baby.
Then he went to her job.
Yeah, now that.
Then he went to her mama house.
Yeah,
I can't blame him. No,
he was. No, when he went to the mama house, he had stuff he was bringing for the baby.
He was bringing gifts. He was bringing stuff for He had went shopping. He had hit a Walmart. He was bringing baby stuff. Remember he was in the store and he got frustrated because he didn't see no
newborn stuff.
Not preemie. That's ain't preemie. He didn't see no newborn baby stuff.
Right.
But he's a new dad and he's up in there and he's like, oh my God, what do I buy? Because she wasn't there. She wasn't answering the phone.
And she wasn't telling him what she already had, what she needed.
And he didn't know. He was like, I don't know what to buy the baby. I don't know what size. I don't know what. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Being out there in that little town, they had a limited selection.
They didn't even have. He was at Walmart.
Right. They didn't have.
They didn't have no newborn Pampers. Oh, I was like, what the heck?
At Walmart?
Okay. Wally World and Grand Island, y'all need to step it up. Y'all have babies in Grand Island, so where is the newborn Pampers? Girl, they just go straight to toddlers, 3 to 4, 5 to 6. Ooh, child. But yeah, he went to her job, then he went to her mama house, and then that's when she filed the restraining order.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for throwing up the TV emojis, Prime Time Squad.
Good night, Donna.
Good night. We will see you later, and thank you for tuning in, Donna. Thank you. I appreciate it. Donna said, "You so funny." Hey, I'm just saying. But that was kind of hurtful. But
it was.
And then he missed the birth because remember he was in jail for the assault.
What the assault?
He was. Remember the assault allegation?
I thought that was before.
No, he was. Remember he missed the birth because he was still in jail. He couldn't get bonded out.
Oh.
Yeah, he couldn't get bonded out.
I just knew he missed the birth. I couldn't remember why.
Yeah, he couldn't miss the birth because he was still in jail. About time he stayed in jail for like 3-4 months. He wouldn't snitch. Is this the same situation?
No,
am I speaking of different stuff?
I think you're mixing them up.
Okay. I got it.
He did miss the birth.
He did miss the birth, but I think it was just because she wasn't communicating with him, and he had the restraining order on him.
It was the restraining order that kept him from coming there.
So he missed the birth. I thought that was really sad.
It really was because he wanted to be there so bad.
Yeah.
And then it went on. It fast forwarded a year.
Ross has to go back to cloth diapers.
Girl, I can't do it.
I did that with my brothers.
On the way.
Well, that, like we say, how sometimes children gotta be daycare and raising their siblings while their parents at work. Mama was like, all you gotta do is shh in the toilet.
I remember my mom doing that with my brother, and I was like, yeah, whenever I have a kid.
I got a job up there lying. I got a job. I gotta be at work. I can't do this. No cloth diapers. Like Medea and Mother. What's that movie? Mother, you know that movie with no more wire hangers. Like no more cloth diapers. No more cloth diapers. No. Nope. Like Mommy Dearest, no more wire hangers.
But I like that. It still showed their progression, even after the baby was born, it took her a long time. It took them running into each other in a store. They were in
Kohl's. Okay.
And
he was shopping.
He was buying stuff for himself, and he said, "I just immediately dropped everything
and started crying.
Picked his daughter
I was
up.
like, I had a little tear coming down. I was like,
I did too.
That's an emotional moment.
And
like
he just went and spent like all his money on his daughter, and he was like, "We working something out."
Yeah.
And so they started working out a schedule,
and
I'm glad they did because he turned out to be a really
great
dad.
And I commend him.
He loved that baby girl, and that baby girl loved her daddy.
And I commend him. And you know how some people say, you shouldn't commend fathers. You shouldn't pat them on the back for doing things that they supposed to be doing. But in certain situations where a child, especially a young man or a boy, grows
never
up,
been taught how to be a man
or how to be a father, and you long for that father in your life that you couldn't have, and when you have your own child, you don't know what to do. Like he was like, what kind of pampers? He didn't know what to do, but he just like put on his big boy, like they say with girls, put on your big girl draws. He put on his big britches, as you want to say, if I can say, and he just stepped up to the plate and like he went in blind. This is my first child. I really don't know what to do, but I know that I want to be there.
Right.
And that's why I commend him, because a lot of kids who don't have that father and don't have that, they be like complaining while growing up and complaining when they grow up. But sometimes when they get that child, they forget all about.
They forget it, and they realize they don't want their child feeling the way they did and going through what they did.
Yeah.
I wish more men, any man, any color, any race, I wish they would feel that way, to see that, to experience that, to say, you know what, I grew up without a father. I don't want my kids doing that. I want to be a part. I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see those milestones that they are going to make. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And, I really do. I commend him, especially being so young.
And he was young too.
Step. Yeah, he was only like 21 when it happened.
And all the things, that's why I said, on a normal basis, in normal situations, I am not going to slap somebody on the back and, you're so, I'm just like, oh my God, you're such a great, like, it's just in certain situations where, people, they just come from dire situations and they end up being like the greatest parents. Like now, and we don't know everything that goes on in their lives.
Right,
and there is no perfect parent. Let me put that out there. There's no perfect. My bad. I got one right here. Ain't nobody else perfect though.
Look, hold on.
But
my baby said I'm perfect.
But you know what I mean? We all make mistakes as parents and children. We all make mistakes. And sometimes after our kids are grown, we sometimes think back to, I could have done this a little better. I could have done this. Or, but it's all said and done. And then the thing about it is, once you have your kids and you realize what you should have done, what you could have done, what you did right, what you didn't do right, when they have their kids, you can be that supportive Nana or G-Ma or Grand Diva or whatever these people call themselves now instead of Grandma.
Grand Diva.
And you can help your children raise their children.
Right.
And, with some of the values that you picked up when you had them or lacked when you had them, make it right.
Something you learned along the way.
That's why they say grandparents, they get a second chance when they have grandchildren. And I didn't understand that before.
That's to make up for the mistakes they made with their kids.
It is, though. It really is, though. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it really is, though. Grandparents. That's why they say, how many times have you said to your parents, oh, if I would have done that, You would have whooped me. You would have spanked me.
Oh,
but you let
kids
them get away with like grandparents are always easier on the children than the parents.
You mean the grandkids?
Than the grandparents because they be trying to make up for what they might have done wrong. Raising,
I know my kids, they say stuff, and I'm like, you got life all twisted. Hey, girl. And my mom be like, "Oh, leave them alone. They gotta learn. Leave them alone."
My mom used to be like that, and you know what? My sons don't even have kids, but I done already told them. Y'all better not whoop my babies. Y'all, they ain't even got kids. They ain't thinking about having kids. I'm like, yeah, and when you do whoop my grandbaby, I'm gonna come and pick him up, and I'm gonna take him to my house. They be looking at me like, what grandkids? Like what?
I'm gonna be like, the one whooping. I'm gonna be the one whooping.
Mom. Ain't no babies. Ain't no. I'm like, no. I'm just letting y'all know in advance. And I'm gonna come pick him up every Saturday. And we gonna go. I'm like, girl, just be talking stuff. I just be talking stuff. They be looking at me like,
look, I love the kids,
okay.
And I watch them every
now and then.
Every weekend. No, ma'am.
No, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Because once you get that emptiness and you get to do whatever you want to do at home, oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord, have mercy. I'll keep the kids every now and then. But you know what? Let's get on Charles, the half brother.
That was
girl, go ahead, because I'm like, ooh.
To the half brother,
Lord Jesus.
That boy's mother, Barbara is she started out as a gang member. She was
doing drugs,
dealing drugs.
Yeah.
She somewhere along the line turned her entire life around. Oh, her brother got killed.
Yeah.
It was her brother that got killed. And started becoming an activist. Like an advocate,
yeah.
She's an advocate. She goes out, she talks to these kids. She goes to city meetings and talks about, we need more programming. We need more jobs. We need more job training for these kids, more resources. So she's trying to instill this stuff into her own son so that he doesn't follow in his dad's footsteps. The brothers, they tell him, come on out to Grand Island with us, stay with us for a little while and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. He went out there, but
he only stayed a little bit.
The call of Omaha was just too much for him. He missed his family. He missed
Omaha does that life. To people.
It does.
It's something about Omaha.
It's the comfortability.
It's
the
crazy.
Big city. We're a big city, but we're not
a big city.
And it's certain parts of Omaha is fast paced, and then certain parts are still real slow in progression.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just that pull, so he came back and hanging out with older guys. He shouldn't have been with them in the first place.
Because he was only 16.
He shouldn't have been with them in the first place.
Well, you know how it is. Hey, when I was younger, some of the friends I hang around was older.
But
still.
They were at a party. And
that was off
was
that the one on 99th and Fort?
Yeah.
Yeah. Off of 99th and Fort by Walmart.
Irvington area.
Irvington, yep.
And he they just started arguing, and he said he's sitting there, and the next thing you know, he hears gunshots. So he takes off running. He runs out. The gunshots, they shooting and stuff in there. He gets caught. How did he even get caught? I don't remember how he got caught, how they found out he was there.
And that's the thing they never said. They just said that he was wanted. It's like all these traps were set up for
them to fail.
It seemed like, I hate to be religious, but it seemed like all these traps were set up by the devil. And then thrown at this person because he wanted to suck him in,
Mm-hmm.
to this space where he's convicted and imprisoned. It's each one.
Each one of them.
Each situation.
Well, he, unfortunately, he went, that snitch code that he went to jail. He ain't gonna snitch. He never told who was
And I'm
with him.
sorry. Let me backtrack.
And
I meant the brothers. I meant the brothers. I'm sorry. The person that we're referring to now is Charles. He is the half brother of the twins,
yeah.
Darcel and Darrell. So when I said that it seemed like the devil kept setting up traps, I meant for the brothers, not for just Charles, but just the things that were happening with them, like the fight with Darcel, the female with Darcel, and then the brother with
Charles
with the fight. But anyway, go ahead.
So, needless to say, he gets to jail. They find him. They convict him as an adult.
Because he was turning 17.
Yeah,
the next week.
Yeah, that's right. He was celebrating his birthday or something.
Yeah,
and convicted that child of first-degree murder, and now he's basically sitting in prison down there in Lincoln for life for not telling who he was with.
And you know what? I always express this on my channel. I try my hardest not to judge. When we come into, it's one thing to do a reality show and you be like, oh, that girl crazy. But when it comes to real life stuff and documentaries, I try not to judge and I try to be biased as possible. And in this situation with Charles, the half brother, when he was arrested for 2 counts of first-degree murder, and he claimed that he didn't do it. But when his mother went down to the jail to visit him, she was like, if you didn't do it, do you know who did it?
And he wouldn't even tell her.
He was like, no, I don't know who did it. But he was there. And she said, my son is in prison for 90 years because of looking out for the hood. Now, we don't know. Let's keep it a buck.
Who it was.
We don't know if he did it. We don't know if he didn't do it. We don't know if somebody else did it because we was not there. We just going by
the story that was presented in the news.
The news stories, in the court documents. That's what we're going by. The fact that he said he didn't do it.
I have no first-hand knowledge of any of that.
And he also told them he didn't do it and he didn't know who did it.
Right.
And his mother, I think his mother believes him. I think Barbara believes that he didn't do it and that he knows who did it. But because of the no snitch, the code, the street code, especially in Omaha. Like, again, some people, y'all who don't know about Omaha, I used to say all the time, don't sleep on Omaha because we have some really good things that go on here.
Yeah, there's some wonderful things.
But then, like most hoods throughout the United States, from Chicago to New York to LA, we have some of the same activities that go on in our city. Just on a smaller scale.
In your hood happens here.
Exactly, just on a smaller scale because we got a smaller population.
Right.
But when he got those 90 years, it was like your heart breaks in a situation like that for the victims. And I knew none of them. I didn't know
nobody involved.
And I was going to ask you that. Did you know the victims or did you know?
I didn't know.
I didn't know anybody. I didn't know the victims. I didn't even know Charles, Darcel, or Darrell. They're much younger than us too.
Yeah,
but I even asked my sons. I'm like, do y'all know these brothers? I even asked not my sons, but I even asked my bros. Because they're around the same age. I'm like, do y'all know? And they was like, well, I think I knew this one. I think I knew that one. Yeah, because a lot of my family members, were either Crips or Bloods growing up. You were one or the other in our family. You were a Crip or you were Blood or you was nothing.
And everybody just wore black at Christmas and things.
Right, like no, I remember times where I would walk up in blue and go to my family members who all wore red. And they were like, "What you doing with that flu on? What you doing with that?" I'm like, "I'm gonna wear whatever color I want to wear. If somebody wants me to take it off, but you know, you family, so you just talking stuff. It ain't, you know, it ain't gonna go down. But you know, we just be laughing and joking. Right. I'm like, if anybody want to take it off, come take it off. But they already know we family, so we know each other. So we know how, you know, we all rocked in the streets together. So, but you know, still, I'm just saying, a lot of families, a lot of friends that I knew, a lot of them grew up in that life.
Yeah.
So it was like these brothers, these twins. Some people might look at them like, oh, they had opportunities. Oh, Darcel was in UNO. Oh, he had Avenue Scholarship. They even helped him, you know, get a lawyer, you know, stuff like that. And he's still.
But sometimes you have to learn for yourself.
Yeah.
I can sit here and tell you something, but until you experience it for yourself, you'll never understand it.
Yeah, that's true.
You'll never
That's very true.
It.
Very, very true. Very, very true. I'm just thankful that everything, I mean, I feel bad for Charles because he, and again, I can't say he made a bad decision because it's one of those things where, okay, let me put it this way. Let me keep it a buck again.
Him being quiet may have saved his life.
Right. But also, sometimes a lot of people are prosecuted and condemned and they threw away the key, and that person might truly be innocent. But we weren't there. The judges weren't there. Right. The prosecutor weren't there. Right. The police weren't there. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like his word against somebody else.
Who presented it the best.
You know what I mean? Who presents the best case? And I'm not saying, and the reason why I'm trying to be as biased as possible, because I feel for the victims. The victims, the two guys, and I don't know anybody in this story. We're just doing commentary and doing a review and giving feedback on the documentary. But I feel for the families of the victim. I really, really do. So I just don't want it to get twisted that I'm up here like, oh, he went to jail. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, right. I think the whole situation,
the whole scenario
is sad. You know, because he had opportunities.
He had so many opportunities, and it's a young life wasted.
Yeah,
your young life is wasted.
Yeah,
and for what? Yeah. And then not only your young life you're spending in prison, 2 lives were cut short, and who knows what they could have been or could have done.
And you know what? His home was when at the end of the story, well, close to the end. Charles, which his mother, Barbara, she has said that the twins was really angry with her because I guess maybe she didn't push enough for him to stay in Grand Island. And she was like, the twins were angry. And she's like, because of the decisions I made, if I would have said this or said that, Charles might not be in a situation in prison for 90 years. But my thing is this.
He was old enough to know right from wrong and to make his own decision.
It's hard to tell the younger siblings not to do something that you was doing. That's kind of
like a parent saying, well, I don't want you smoking weed or not. But you chiefing as a teenager.
But you chiefing and drinking.
Right. And you done it as a teenager. But, you know, I think all in all, the documentary was a very interesting one. I do too. Oh, and we didn't tell them the best part. At the end.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that part. Go ahead.
So at the end, you know, they show his baby girl. She's growing up.
She's such a pretty little girl.
She is beautiful.
Darcel, if you watching right now,
you have a beautiful princess.
I know people are supposed to share this video with the twins because there's people on my Facebook who said they was going to share the video with the twins. And hopefully we'll actually get to talk to them.
That would be nice.
And do an interview with them. So we put the word out already. And I was tagged a couple of times by certain people saying they're going to contact the twins. So, hopefully we'll have like an update to this story, to this documentary, and we can tell you how the twins is doing now, because this documentary was put out last year,
2017.
Yep, like
that was when they finished.
They finished it in 2017, but they put it out in 2018. So it's been like a year since then. So hopefully, my hope is that we can talk to the twins and we can have them come on the show, or even Barbara, or anybody who was involved with this documentary. I would love to speak to any one of them just to find out how things are going now, what's going on, and ask them some things about the documentary, and just do a little interview. But I was really, really proud of him as far as like Rail. He started as just being a loader and an unloader at the
he started
salvage.
as a gangbanger.
Well, okay, yeah, he started as a gangbanger, but once he moved away
with no goals,
to
continue being a drug user and
gangbanger. You know what? We missed on that. We forgot all about that. I'm glad you brought that up, because of the fact that
he was like, "That's all I'm gonna be. I don't want to be nothing else." And it was
right.
like, "You have no goals, no."
I was kind of like, what the heck? But it kind of did it kind of like did a spin, like first of all, Darcel, he was the one in college at UNO, wanted to have a rap career, and he's still working on his rap and his stuff like that. But he had all these dreams and goals. It didn't quite work out. Rail, on the other hand, when they asked him about college, he's like, "Nah, I ain't in that college. I'm out in the streets, and I take care of my family, and I get money." He said, "Even if I gotta hurt somebody."
Right. When he said that,
I was like, "Ooh, let me not walk on the same block as you at night." But but he kept it real though. The thing about this documentary that I really like was that the actual twins in the story, they didn't sugarcoat stuff. Mm-mm. They kept it real. They really kept it real. And Rail was like, you know what? I'm trying to take care of my family, my mom, me. He can go to school and go to college. That's my bro. That's my twin. I got him. I got him. But I'm over here doing this. But then once he moved to Grand Island, and then Darcel moved with him, and then Rail started off at a salvage appliance outlet, and he moved all the way up from a loader and unloader to head manager. And then
the company ended up folding, and they left,
and he got his own.
And they ended up starting their own
salvage
outlet. So they became business owners. They came from being they raised themselves, kids criminals,
gangbangers,
on a fast track to jail, to
drug dealers,
and
born into gangbanging, born into drug dealing, born into drug use, born into, just
every negative stereotype you could probably think of is what they were born into. And these two fought it out to survive and to overcome the odds.
Yep.
They defied the statistics. They, instead of becoming a statistic, they defied them.
Yep. And it was crazy because at the beginning, at the first part of the documentary, you see Darcel, and he's sweeping what looks like a warehouse or empty building.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, what? What? I said, this must be his job.
I thought he was sweeping a barbershop or something.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I'm like, okay, he got the big broom and he's sweeping. And then at the end, it shows that is the building that they purchased in Grand Island for their salvage outlet.
I was so
and he
proud.
Was cleaning it up. I was like, oh, wow, how the tables have turned. But you know what?
So
one thing, a lot of people might think, you know what? These fellas, they came from this poverty. They came from these Omaha streets, these, desolate, upbringing and everything. And now they're successful. And
He said,
Rail was
this
like,
is my definition
this
of
ain't
success.
Rail was like, this ain't no success story. He said, I am not content yet. What they doing with this, their business and everything.
Keep going.
Thank you. He was like, it's a work in progress. It's a lot of work. He's happy that they got their own business and everything, and that they're starting to live out their dreams, but the dream is not complete. And then Darcel said his idea of success is not being rich and wealthy, but how you treat people, going to work every day, being an honest person, living an honest life, and taking care of your family and your kids, your seeds. He said that's what's being successful means to him.
Right.
So this movie was very, to me, inspiring.
I thought it was too.
And I keep saying movie, but documentary was very inspiring, because a lot of people here in Omaha, these kids don't get out.
And it's not just these kids. This is not a singular story, unfortunately.
It's not.
It's not a one-time thing. It's one of those things. Omaha, unfortunately, is one of those places. Either your family is well off, or you are,
or they struggling.
It's
like no in between.
It's the in between line is very thin. The median is very thin.
Yep. It's like no in betweens. It's like, in society, you have the low income, you have the middle income, you have the the wealthy, the rich and stuff. In Omaha, it's like if you guys watch this documentary, for those of y'all who do not live in Omaha, and I'm gonna put the link to the documentary in the comment section at the end of the video. But in our city, it's like a certain, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do some quotes right now from what's his name? Mr. Brown. I'm gonna do some quotes from Mr. Brown right now. Wayne Brown. One of the things that he has said in one of the last scenes of the documentary, he started talking about a black box. And a lot of you guys might feel where he's coming from in your location about the black box. He says when it comes to stories like Darcel, the center of despair, is, when it comes to kids growing up, like Darcel, like Rail, like Charles, all of the three guys in this story, in the center of despair is a good human being. Every day, me, you, them, our kids, our parents, we out there hustling. All we want to do is work hard, bring food to the table, and try to get to the next level. He said it's basically a story of everybody. Your kid, my kid, his kid, their kid. It's the story of America. And then he goes on to say the black box is unnatural and created by education policy, legislation, housing policy, law enforcement, the criminal justice system. This box, he says, was designed to keep people in poverty in this small area, but not just here. This is this is in the United States and outside of the United States, but we're focusing on the United States and we're focusing on Omaha. But the box was designed to keep people in poverty. But he hopes that, because of the box and the rules were man-made, maybe we can unmake those boxes since they were man-made. So how do you feel about what he said about that?
I think that's true. A lot of the struggles that people go through, especially our young men, a lot of them, it's all man-made. These are laws and rules and things that men think up. That's not natural. That's not the natural order of things. Yeah. And you trying to keep somebody in this box while keeping this person out of the box, that's not natural either.
Yeah.
And it's time to, stop making rules to try to keep somebody down. If they are supposed to aspire and soar to higher heights, let them. If anything, help them to soar.
Right.
Instead of trying to, clip their wings and hold them down.
Yep. And that's why I commend as well the Avenue Scholars. Like I said, the Avenue Scholars, and that might be something that, is available at your children's school. It's available at a lot of schools across Omaha, Nebraska. And it, again, is not only a scholarship program, but just to show you how, how much focus and how much time and how much effort they spend with your child, and how seriously they want your child to get out and get an education and become something great. When they put up $1,000, he was like, y'all know, them was like, we done found some resources.
Right.
We got $1,000 to help you pay for your attorney. That's how much they believe that he did not do that crime. Like, he was not involved in that fight that was on 55th.
But they were trying to keep this young man focused and keep him on the right path.
Right.
To keep him from straying away from where he was supposed to be going.
And I do not think that Avenue Scholars or any other scholarship program normally helps people out with getting attorneys when you've been charged with a crime. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you was talking about breaking out that box and the rules. Like, sometimes you gotta step out and be like, okay, this child, I see their situation, but I'm going to take a chance on this child because I have faith in them and I believe in them, and I think that they can be successful and they have a lot to offer to society, to their community, to the human, you know what I mean?
Right.
So when that was very touching, like, to me, because I remember talking to the people in Avenue Scholars when my sons was, because I would call and be like, what's up, dang, what time the meeting? Why y'all so late? Why y'all, what's going on with the scholarships? What, they asking me for information, and, but, in the long run, once they finish college, Avenue Scholars is something good to have on their resume as far as college scholarships and getting into schools. And they also write you, recommendation letters. Right, they do all that kind of stuff, to help you, get into school. And like with the dorms. Oh, we can get you in the dorms, but you tell us why you don't want to be in the dorms.
You hold yourself back sometimes.
Because of your parents, your family.
Yeah.
But anywho, you guys, if y'all have not watched this documentary, we did a review and commentary on it, but we did not go over every single thing that happened. I mean, it was a lot.
We went over a lot, but it was a lot in that documentary.
Yes.
But we went over most of the highlights, and I think if you watch it for yourself now, knowing, going in kind of knowing what's going to happen, I think that you will get a better understanding of these young men, of life here in North Omaha.
Yes.
Because there's a difference between Omaha
and if y'all ain't saw my
Omaha.
Shirt, hold up, I got my shirt on.
Proud to be from North Omaha.
Proud to be from North Omaha. Yep, I got my shirt on.
Shout out to the PTS and no beef.
Proud to be from North Omaha.
I think I done did like you when you be doing the LGBTQ.
Oh no, I be like LGBT.
You be at home crying because you be butchering it.
You know what? The next time I do some commentary on anything that has to do with that, I'll make sure I have the alphabet right. No shade. But you always butcher it. It be like in my head, but when it comes out my mouth, I be like the LBGZQR. I'm like, what is it? But anyway, Anyway, like she was joking. The proud to be. Yeah, the shirt is proud to be from North Omaha. That's where the boys was from. Born and raised. You know, in this
on my dad
documentary.
union too.
Yes, Roxanne says so funny. Oh, we love you, Roxanne.
Thank you for hanging in there with us tonight, Roxanne. We appreciate you.
She's been part of our primetime squad for a long time, almost since the very beginning when I started my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So I love me some Roxanne. Yep. But so I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you guys is going to check out this documentary. The documentary again is from our hometown about some twins, a set of twins. It's actually three brothers. I don't want to say just a set of twins because they also have another brother. Yeah, they have another brother by, a different mom, but by the same dad.
Predominantly about the twins.
Right, but yeah, it was mostly about the twins, but it also involved another one of their brothers. But it's a great documentary. I highly recommend you watch it. Now, what I'm going to say as far as like if you have children, there is a lot of cursing.
A lot of cursing
in the documentary. The thing about these young men in the documentary is they kept it real. They didn't like...
Good night, Roxanne.
They didn't turn bougie for a documentary. If they say the N-word or they say MF or in their normal life, but it wasn't totally full of cursing. But I'm saying you might, if you got children with tender ears, you might not want to watch it with small children. But I thought it was great. Roxanne, you said you ladies have a blessed evening and a wonderful week. Thank you. And
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. I appreciate it. If you have stars,
check
on demand, you can watch it on Stars on demand.
Or you can get Stars for free for like 7 days.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On your phone, the app.
Oh
watch
yeah.
it there.
The homie hookup. That's what you call it, a homie hookup. The Caramel Diva homie hookup. But yes, please
I got all kind of stuff for y'all.
Roxanne said, Miss Karma Diva, I'm excited to see you on the hood table with Tanya.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne.
We're going to have some fun, believe me.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, just to remind everybody again, Miss Caramel Diva, this is her debut as far as a collaboration with Tanya Primetime, and we will be doing further videos in the future on the Hood Table together. So make sure, matter of fact, let me go to the Hood Table channel right now so I can put the link in there so that you can guys go right over there and subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can receive notifications whenever we go live or whenever we, upload or whatever. And as usual, with the Hood Table, we don't go live as much as I do over here on Prime Time. It might be once or twice, 3 times a month, depending on our schedule.
Yeah.
We don't live together. We don't have the same schedule. So you have to understand, when people do collaboration videos, it kind of be like, make sure both people,
can fit it into their schedule.
Right, can fit it into their schedule.
There you go.
Yes, thank you. But I'm putting a link in right now to the Hood Table channel. So make sure you guys go over there to the Hood Table channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because Caramel Diva and I will be coming at you live over on the Hood Table. That's when you'll see us again together on the Hood Table. And we got some topics. You got some topics already.
Some topics already. And then we have an interview. Very, very special interview.
Yes, tell them about the interview.
There's been a lot being talked about sex trafficking, about people being kidnapped by taking Lyft and Uber rides. We have a clinical psychologist who also happens to be one of my little cousins. Mm-hmm. But she lives in Dallas, and she just did a very big presentation there on sex trafficking, how to figure out if somebody is being sex trafficking, how to kind of spot them, just different information we're going to have from some questions we're going to ask her. We're going to try to get as in-depth as we can. So please tune in. If you think you may have some more questions,
we will be taking phone calls.
Right. We will be taking phone calls, and you can call in and ask her.
Yeah.
And we want you to tune in, bring your family and friends. This is a must-see interview that's coming up.
Yes, exactly. And again, this might not be a topic for small children, but I would definitely say if you have some older teenage females in your family, or even guys, because the thing about it, guys I mentioned this before. Too. They think, oh, I'm a boy, I'm tough, I lift weights, I play football.
That means nothing.
Like, they can't be trafficked. Like, hey, if somebody put something, the right thing in your cup, or comes at you from behind with several other people, and they catch you off guard, we can't say too much to be aware of your surroundings. We cannot say.
I cannot say that enough. Period. Just
to be aware of your surroundings.
Be always, and don't get too comfortable thinking, oh, this is a nice neighborhood and this and that, and lose that awareness about yourself.
Yeah.
So we got some good topics coming up. So stay tuned.
Roxanne said, "I'm looking forward to those topics." Thank you, Roxanne.
We're looking forward.
We have a lot of topics.
And read your comments.
Yes, we have a lot of topics that we're going to be discussing on the Hood Table channel. So again, make sure you guys click the link in the chat that I put in the chat for the Hood Table channel. Make sure you share the link, click the link, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell. Thank you so much. But anyway, y'all, it's been real. Girl, welcome.
Thank you.
She did great, right?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. We're going to get off of here for now. It's getting late. It's almost 10 o'clock here in Omaha in the Midwest. And I know a lot of y'all got to get up and get ready for work. Some of y'all are off, though, for the holiday, got the whole week off. But for those that got to get up and go to work, we thank you for tuning in and staying up with us. And last thing you might want to say?
I'm good. I just want to say thank you for watching, and happy Thanksgiving to you all.
Yes, definitely. I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving. And make sure y'all tune in on Thanksgiving, because the girl got a turkey about this big and a whole bunch of other stuff to go
she
with
gonna
it.
Be cooking. I'm gonna be somewhere in a turkey coma. All I need is a blanket and a pillow. So that's what I'm saying.
We gonna be throwing down on Thanksgiving. Hey, I need a little turkey, need a little dressing, need a little yams. Yes, it's going down. Anyway, see, I'm getting up. That's one of my favorite holidays. Not just because of the food, but doesn't that seem like the holiday that most relatives and
because it's not commercialized. It's not about buying gifts. It's not about necessarily spending a whole lot of money, depending on how much you spend on dinner.
Yeah, that depends on how much that turkey costs.
It's about being. Let's not get into how it got started, but the holiday in essence is about being thankful for the things that you have,
and that's why I like Thanksgiving.
You're blessed with, and it's about family and friends being.
You know what? So funny. My oldest son, the one who was here earlier with his girlfriend, he was rolling with me today because my youngest son was at work, and I wanted somebody to roll with me because I was doing a lot of shopping, and I wanted some help, with the bagging and all that kind of stuff, bringing stuff in the house. So we were sitting outside of a store, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't get a turkey. I'm like, we're going to have ham. We're going to have this. We're going to have this. We're going to have that. And then he was like, but Mom, it's Thanksgiving. you're supposed to get a turkey. I said, no, Thanksgiving is about being around your family, being around your friends and your loved ones, and celebrating the fact that, you have people in your life, in your circle, and you're thankful for this. He said, and they do it around a turkey. Girl, I want to smack him in the back of his head. I want to smack him in the back of his head. Oh man! And so then let me show y'all the turkey we got. Hold up.
This thing here.
He was like, and they do all that around a turkey. So anyway, it's so big.
Let me move for she knocked me out with this thing.
It's so big. It's so big.
Good Lord.
It is. I don't know how many. This thing is like 20 something. I don't know.
That was like a 26 pound.
It's like turkey. It's a big. It's humongous. So anyway, he talked me into it.
She gonna break somebody's doggone foot.
Girl. Now, as regarding that turkey, I had put a recipe on my community tab like probably a month ago because somebody wanted to know my brining recipe. So I put my brining recipe on my YouTube channel and on the community tab. So if you want to know how to brine a turkey, go to my community tab, scroll down. It's been over there for over a month. I haven't taken it down yet. Roxanne said, that's huge.
Ain't it them?
It's like,
okay, fine. With the girlfriend. Who gonna eat all of that?
You be having people come over, family and friends, and then on top of that,
feed the whole block with that turkey.
Girl, Christmas is in a month. What don't get ate is gonna get frozen. And then a few days after, we're gonna have some turkey soup. We're gonna have some turkey noodle soup. We're gonna have some turkey sandwiches. We're gonna have some turkey and rice.
Turkey sandwiches,
turkey and turkey and cereal, turkey and hot dogs, turkey and hamburgers, turkey and nachos.
Who the hell gonna eat all of that?
Roxanne said that's a lot of leftovers.
I can't and I ain't.
You said you can't and you ain't. Mm-mm. But no, for real, what don't get eaten, I'm going to do just like, my mama did and freeze that turkey and save it for Christmas. Girl. Gobble, 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 gobble.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Oh, Prime Time Squad, thanks for tuning in, y'all. We out of here, y'all. As usual, in the meantime and in between time, stay safe, be blessed, and we out. Deuces. That is a big turkey.
That mother sucker is huge.
Oh, girl, when I first